Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Troy with DDM's Realm, and I have a weekly walkthrough for you. Unfortunately, this is probably going to be the last weekly walkthrough for a while, because I am spending way too much time and money trying to work on getting these video guides for you, and YouTube just doesn't throw money at content creators. What really helps keep that going is becoming a patron. For as little as $1 a month, you can become a patron of DDM's Realm. That'll really help give me what I need to keep this stuff up and going for you guys. So I'll still be doing guides, I'll still be doing walkthroughs and stuff like that, but I'm going to definitely need to tone it back and get to work on some other stuff to pay the bills and feed those that depend on me. For this week, there's nothing going on, no event in game going on, but everybody's cranking away on the new update, the Lost City of Jolt. And, excuse me. And they're trying to get access, trying to get in there, trying to do the hunts, find the treasure maps, that kind of thing. I was able to finish updating the treasure map location stuff for the Lost City of Omu this morning. So now I've got that playlist in the description, and that's going to give you all the locations of all the buried treasures within Omu, so you can grab that loot quick and easy. You know, you can only do like 6 of them a month, or 6 of them a week, excuse me, but you can actually continue to do the patrol quests and collect those commendations. Let me show you about those guys here. We're talking about it. They pop in right where? I know they're listed here somewhere. Oh, maybe I don't have the commendations yet because I have to still turn them in. So I did the patrol quest, but I didn't actually turn it in. So when the timer ticks over for the next week, you can go ahead and turn those in, get all those treasure maps, kind of do them in a big block. Also, if you find yourself having time during the week to do a few extra patrols, might as well get those done, because you can hold on to those commendations and turn them in later when you get the quest here. So let me show you this real quick. So now you see that I've got all of these patrols that I can turn in. I'll get the commendations, which then you'll turn in for this patrolling Omu 6 times weekly to get those treasure maps, to get those extra treasures as you're running around. A little bit more on that later, but let's talk about some of the stuff that is coming up this weekend. I always like to keep an eye on my calendar, as you know. And this way we can kind of prepare, we can get ready for the stuff that's coming up. And for some reason my calendar is not populating. There it goes, finally. Okay. So this upcoming weekend we have 2 times refining stones. So that is 2 times refining stones and gems and all that kind of stuff that you get from boxes and bags and quests and whatnot. So definitely suggest that you do leadership tasks and work on these that give you those stones, and save them up. When you get that ×2 coming, then you open those up, you can get double the stones from each of those bags and boxes, which is pretty cool. So grind those suckers out. Also, we have coming up the trade store discount, which is nice if you get these Tourmaline trade bars that you get for opening the lock boxes. You can save those up and then buy yourself some gear. I'll look at that here in a second, but let's look at what else, since I've got the calendar open. Let's see what else is coming up. So we got ×2 seals. That's going to be a good weekend to make sure you rock through a bunch of tongs. That way you can get your seals of the brave. Nice and easy. Anything else you really want, but everybody I think is really working for those seals of the brave. Get the coins of Joaquin, not a really big deal. Next weekend, campaign currency. Good if you're in a guild. ×2 sharpened of power. Also good if you are in a guild or you need things like dungeoneering or conqueror shards, which are hard to get sometimes with some guilds. That's a good time to focus on doing the PvP stuff, doing dungeons, that kind of thing, so you can get those shards. At the end of the month, we have ×2 influence. The mysterious egg is back, and then we have the Days of the Dungeon Master, which is that cool event where you can basically go into the games and actually be on the tabletop, run through a bunch of different quests. Each week's going to have a different quest that it adds to, as well as there's a couple campaigns that go along with that. You can find those campaigns here at the very bottom, and you can see what they give you by going into them, of course, and looking. But take a look at these now so you can see where you might need to focus when those events start. Alright, so that's pretty much all the upcoming stuff. You can look a little bit further, and if you're on console, this schedule is going to be a little bit different. But hopefully the tips for doing these are going to be as viable or as helpful, even if you're on console, as they are on PC. Just on different weekends, basically. Alright, so anywhere you are, you can always pop up and open up your Tourmaline trade bars here, and then it'll actually open up the store, which you can buy any place. Now, there are tons of things on here, but if you are a new player, you might really want to know the best purchases for these for you. Generally speaking, enchantments, runestones, and consumables are not a place you're going to want to spend this stuff. If you happen to have a bunch of bars but haven't got any epic mounts yet, definitely pick up an epic mount. All kinds of cool ones, but they are sort of expensive. But if you're still looking for that epic mount, you can go ahead and pick the one you want, because there are some pretty cool ones in here. More importantly here, there are some companions depending on your class. Each of these might be okay for you, or you might like them. But specifically, the Fire Archon is really cool. A lot of people get the Archon sets because they grant bonus to your damage depending on if you're full health or if your enemy is full health or half health. And each Archon has its own requirement for what you get the buff for, but you get a bonus by each Archon you have active in your camp or in your companion slot. So collect these Archons and you can get quite a good significant increase in your damage. Then there might be some artifacts you might like to finish out a set you have. These can be kind of expensive unless they're on sale, and then there are some pretty nice ones that you can get out of there. But probably the thing that I use most of my bars for is this equipment, and I generally buy that for alts, or if it's your new character, it's your first character, it might actually be decent gear for you. Because you can actually get some of this older gear for pretty cheap, which has some nice stats on it. So if you look at these, they have only under 100 bars and you can get these items. Now, they're not the best ones in the game, but they could be a significant upgrade for a first-time player that's on their main still working up, or somebody who has alts. This is a great way to pimp out your alts and get that gear for them. You can even go into the legacy stuff and pull out things like this Frostborn if you're really working on the Storm King campaign. Because one of the cool things about this is when you're digging up relics, there's a 25% chance to get an additional one. So this is a really cheap way to basically get relic hunting gear. Buy a couple of these things, slap them on just when you're getting those relics, so you can keep your Storm King's armor empowered. As well as some of the older things if you're looking at finishing out some collections or something like that. These are generally pretty cheap way to go and a good use of your bars. Now there's the fashion and the dyes. Those aren't really a great way to go unless you have everything you want and you're just trying to tweak your appearance. Then spend your bars there. Otherwise, you're good to go. And then one other thing that you should know is that these trade bars can actually be put in the bank and you can trade them between your characters, which is kind of nice. So if you open up your bank without a commenter pushing you out of the way, there'll be a slot at the very bottom here that you can throw some of your trade bars in here. Just put in your value you want to stick in the shared bank, and then your other characters will be able to access that. So this is a great way if you start some alt or something like that, that you can do some, throw your bars in here, share it, and they can grab it and buy whatever gear that they want to. You can also, I believe, purchase that gear, but and it doesn't bind, it just binds to your account, so you can get that gear and stick it in the bank as well. Alright, so there's some good uses of your trade bars. Now let's talk a little bit about, we have this new campaign going, Lost City of Omu. Most of the campaigns they run have similar things that you can do to get more of the campaign currency than your kind of your weekly allotted amount, but you need to kind of know some of the tricks. So the first one let's talk about is the one they want you to pay for, which you can see I've got the tiger there, so I did for this one. But it grants a bonus here to your treasure and your idol drops by 10% when you run around doing this stuff. So this gives you a small little boost for everything you do. So all of your quests, all of your HEs, everything you do in there where you get some of this, you'll get a little bit more. These bonuses are tied to what you get them through, whether they count towards your weekly bonus here. So if you look at your week or your weekly allotted amount. So my weekly haul is 5. Excuse me, sorry. So when you're doing the weekly quests, that kind of stuff, it'll add on to here and start building this up here. But the bonuses will be added on, and then they won't count towards this, I believe. So I turned one quest in, I got a 5, but I do know that I only had 53 here. So I got a bonus idol, got a bonus idol, which didn't count towards my amount here. So you can kind of trickle in more and more and more, and depending on how much you want to grind, you can actually progress quite quickly or get multiple things every week, since you're capped basically at your weekly stuff. Something I did want to mention that I noticed with an alt is I had previously unlocked this Blessings of Ubato on this as my main. When I was on my alt trying to progress through the campaign here so I could get to the lost city of Omu, I opened up this shrines, and when I opened up this shrines, it also gave me the ability to do the Omu revelation. So I was able to talk to Celeste with that character, having basically skipped one of the House of the Crocodile part of that campaign. So now with that alt, I can work on both sections when I reach my weekly haul limit, which is pretty nice. You don't have to go up the entire tree to unlock your alts, but you are going to have this Blessings of Ubatao, I'm probably saying that totally wrong, to have that work for anything else. Because if you see on here, it says this is an account-wide unlock. So that's pretty cool. Which then also means that should unlock Tomb of the Nine Gods for those characters as well, even if they haven't progressed through this campaign. So that's cool, but be warned, that is a tough dungeon. I've got a guide on that if you want to look that up. But weaker characters probably shouldn't go in there because they are going to get beat down and be a drag on the group instead of helping out the group. Alright, so when you go in here, you could do your weekly quests, you could do your grindy quests. So if we look at the quest giver here, man, did I get these already? I think I did. Oops. So yeah, these are the old ones I have. Let me pull up my quest journal because I think I actually grabbed this instead. So if you look in here, there is, let's see, which ones are they? That's the other. I swear I got them already. There we are. So the weekly quests are in here. You can grab those. You can get the bonus from those, but you're only going to be able to do those once. However, once you get inside of the actual jungle or the city of the lost city of Omu, then you can do a few other things to get more of those campaign currencies. So one of those is going to be to do hunts. When you have a hunt target and you are part of the group, you can get additional idols and treasures, which will count towards your overall amount, but not count towards your weekly haul. And then you can also do the treasures. Those are capped at 6 a week that you can dig up, but those will also give you bonuses. Then the last thing that you can do is, let me see if I can track one down here. Easy. It's dungeoneering. There are these little flowers around here that you can actually get treasures and idols out of. Of course, I'm not going to be able to find any since I'm live streaming and trying to show you guys this. Anyway, that's another way that you can get more that will increase the amount that you have without going towards your daily limit. Now, it's a slow grind, and yes, it is a grind to do that, but you can go ahead and say, get your weekly increase going, like I've got here. So I've got this weekly increase going. Then I can keep working on it and then try to get maybe a hunt going, because the hunts are a lot cheaper. Once I have the hunts going, then I can kind of grind those hunts out, and not only am I getting gear, I'm also getting campaign currency for them. I think you know what I'm talking about. On the surface here, there's one right there. So there is a blue flower. You can see a little sparkly blue flower that has crafting components, but this time it has some treasures in it. These can actually have idols as well. And then let's see if we can go into the Undercity, and there's another thing that you can get to get more of those campaign currencies. This little mushroom. See if I can find that for you. But that's another of the little skill nodes you can use to get them as well. Before you go down, I bet I can't hunt it down anyway. There is a ghost in here. I think I've talked about that before. Like a lost soul that will appear up in this area, in the northern section, will appear down here as well. And they'll give you a little mini quest to go in and go to the temple. And when you complete that, you get a few more treasures. Oh, see, not paying attention. And there are also a few other quests. There's the lore quests in here that you can build up your lore for Makos in EQ, but they will not give you campaign treasures. But there are some that give you treasures that you have to hunt down, like journal entries or something. I wonder if I can track that guy down. He's usually sitting down. There's one that I noticed is down here by one of these treasures. Partying in the jungle, talking and not paying attention to where I'm going. If you have any questions about the Lost City, let me know. I try to cover as much as I can, what I can think about. But there is a lot going on here, and I have spent a lot of time in here. So if there's something I'm not mentioning, maybe I can help you. Here you go. Here is another flower. Let's see if we can show you an idol out of this one. Nope, just crafting. But there is this fallen guy down here on the ground. You can actually pick up this Templar's Journal, and that'll give you kind of a zone quest that you can do that you can't necessarily pick up, but if you find this guy lying around, you can. So put something in your inventory that you can pick up and use to get a quest, and you see this quest has 5 idols, 20 treasures, and then I've got to collect pages that from his journal that are around an area. And there are a couple of these guys laying about that you can collect that quest from. Alright, so let me see if I can sneak down into the Undercity here. Show you one of those mushrooms where you can also get some campaign currency from. And the HE as well, you can also get campaign currency from, I believe. I think I've seen treasures, I don't know about idols though. Alright, let's wander around and see if we can find one of these mushrooms I'm talking about. I haven't yet seen what all the shrines do if they're all activated together. If anybody knows what that is, please let me know. I know you get a buff if you... Holy cow. There's somebody out of this thing that I can complete to. Oh, so slow. There we go. Guess I can break up there. Alright, wander around here. Go a little deeper into here. There's a bunch of mobs, so I figured there would be hopefully something we can snag in here. But you know, this is the way it goes. There's one, actually right there. So you see this shroom right here? This is a special Undercity shroom that they have put in, which just gives you another place that you can grab some of these currencies. So let me thrash these guys real quick, and I will pop that open. Yeah, I like the tear. I haven't done a ton of testing on the different buffs, but the kind of boost it gives for my character in getting through some of their DR, as well as, since I do a lot of tanking, the DPS decrease it gives to the bosses is one that I like to use. Alright, let's see if we can bust out an idol here. Nope. Oh well. Oh, did they not even grab those? Well, at least now you know what they look like. So keep an eye out for those. And that can give you some extra campaign currency as you move through this stuff and kind of speed up your ability to get to the end of the campaign, get your boons, get your hunts done. The last one seemed to have, the last mod, the jungles, seemed to be better to get to Tong first to get some of the new loot. This, however, seems to be better to get to the actual hunts, because that last hunt gives some of that new gear, which is really nice. If you haven't already, if you've been down in this section, make sure you head over here. There will be what, chat or something like that over here you can talk to, which will give you another quick little quest you can do. There's also one of the viewing stones down here. If you're a completionist and need to get all of these checked out, the zone ones. Alright. Well, that's about all I had for you guys today. Again, this is going to be my last weekly walkthrough for a while. Unless I can get some more patrons on there and kind of make it a little bit more worth my time. Unfortunately, I got bills to pay, mouths to feed, and YouTube does not fling money at me, even though I think I make some okay videos. So if you could spare $1 a month, become a patron, I really appreciate it. And always, man, subscribe, follow me on Facebook and Twitter. All that stuff is really helpful to kind of get the word out and help people play this. Is there any other questions, comments anybody has? If not, I will sign out and get back to finishing up the last bit of the guides for this month. I did get the treasure maps out. So if you look at the treasure map playthrough or the playlist, I have got all 15 maps on there. You can check them out. That way you can find your loot quick and easy. And then I am collecting this stuff to do the hunts, and I'll get those hunts published as soon as I can get around to doing that. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your support and your patronage. And until next time, play smarter, not harder.